Clicked it.
Welcome back, everybody, to Aces 53 with Ed Parcaut and myself. And since it's a Thursday, that means a third party will be joining us. So on Thursdays, we bring in somebody we call the Joker. Was a Joker, someone with a special skill or talent that we want to benefit from. We figure you can as well. So this week, we have producer Rachel.
Well, before we can bring her, is there anything up there you want to talk about that we didn't talk about on Tuesday? Anything you leaving, going out of town this weekend for a gig?
No, I was pretty much here. It was last week that I was gone the whole time. So this week I'm home. I'm getting into the groove. I take that back. I'm going to a networking event tonight. There's a cryo convention that's in town, all on like IVs, health, functional medicine, all that. So I'm going to that tonight and then all day Friday. So I will be offline tomorrow, but not going anywhere this week.
Basic cryo. All I think about is, freezing yourself.
Right. That's one of the things I offer. Hey, you know me, I love my cold plunge. Maybe that's the next step.
There you go. Yeah, just take your head right off, put you in cryo. Don't have to worry about bring you back when they can connect you into another body or whatever.
I've had my head bitten off enough times. I'm used to it by now, so not a big deal.
Yeah, I'm not here next week, so we got to talk about what we're going to do next week.
You mean besides celebrate?
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm actually gone on a hiking trip, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's not my favorite thing to do, but my wife likes to do it, so I do what I have.
Right. That means I just have free reign. I have all the power.
You have all the power. You have all the control. All right. Now we're done talking. Let's bring in our guest. Who's our guest today, Brian?
Sure. So I actually met Rachel probably 2 years ago through a mutual friend of ours that we've had on. So we've had Rhonda on before. And she started
people who don't know who Rhonda is. Who's Rhonda?
Well, that's what I'm getting ready to say. So Rhonda is the chiropractor that lives in Michigan.
Full name.
Huh?
What's her full name?
Rhonda Vaughn.
Thank you.
See, it's not going to help because people won't know how to spell Rhonda.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Now we know who we're talking about. They can go back and search.
You're so difficult, man. Next week is going to be such a breeze.
I know you'll just throw all these acronyms in there and name drop everybody's first name. And
I'm just going to call it the Without Ed podcast next week. It'll be fantastic.
There you go. Yes, it will.
So anyway, I met Rachel Vaughn, and she's a chiropractor by trade, but she also has those social oak events, all the different events that she puts together to get people in rooms and in person. And she came to Dallas to attend an event, and she brought with her producer Rachel. And so we ended up filming just a quick version of the podcast for Rhonda in one of the rooms. And then we've just become friends over time. So whenever I go to Michigan and try and hang out with them, last time she was really rude and ditched me. I'm in the hospital, I can't meet up, that kind of thing. But she's also a part of Social Boardroom, which is we just get together once a month. We go live on Instagram, and we'll actually go live in Zoom, push it out to different places. And it's to help business owners who don't feel like they're surrounded by people they can talk to. And so she's just very, very well-rounded, and she's going to talk about a new project she has coming up as well. So with that, we will bring in.
I'll do this one. You bring. There we go.
There you go.
Hi.
Hello, Rachel.
Rachel Rhonda. I know, Brian. If you were my client, I'd literally be like, "Great, that was awesome. We're going to do that intro again. Get all the names right."
Don't give Ed credit. Don't give Ed credit. I'll never live it down.
No, I want to people to know who we're talking about. There's nothing there. Good job there. For one mistake. My producer messed around with the whole thing. You're just promoting my radio show that we're about ready to go get syndicated now. So what?
Good for you. Do you know I have a background in radio and TV, Ed?
Do you?
Yeah. So I started actually 20 plus years ago when The View was first on the air. That was my first job. I worked my way up from intern to producer. I started working for the Barbara Walters specials. I worked for The View. Then I worked for Walt Disney Feature Animation, Home Shopping Network, and iHeartMedia. And I was in radio before I left to do this whole thing for about 15 years. So working for iHeartMedia and morning radio shows.
That's what I'm on is iHeart.
Good for you. I love it. Yay.
Yeah, I'm not that impressed. I have a TV in my background too. Oh, that's not what you meant?
No, so I've been producing and behind the scenes for over 20 years. And then finally just was like, you know what? I think I can do this too. And it took me a little bit, but here we are.
So you're the one who caused the problem with The View.
No, that was after I left.
I mean, when Barbara Wawa was on there, it was great.
She was amazing. And I learned from her. So I was one of the people that, because I had worked in almost every aspect of both shows, when the show would travel and when she would travel, I would go with them because she couldn't send all of her assistants. So like I would literally follow her throughout her day. So I remember just being in a car service. We're on our way to Nicolas Cage's house, and she's going to do a Barbara Walters special like episode with him. And she's sitting next to me going through her blue cards, going through her questions. But really, that's where I learned about telling someone's story, but also your questions are sort of B, right? Like in the moment, it needs to be A. And she really pays attention. She knows the background, she knows the questions, but she wants to pay attention so she knows when to zone in on that question. Does that make sense? And so just watching her was just so fascinating and seeing her process.
Because I don't want to pat myself back, but that's exactly what I do. I have stuff already, but I listen to the conversation, keep the conversation going, go back to what they talked about, bringing that back if it's important, and stay on script. But you don't know that because it's hard to do that. But after thousands and thousands of hours, it's pretty easy to do. But you still don't know everything, and sometimes things pop up. But not everybody knows the Saturday Night Live skit with blah 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 blah.
But Ed, from doing this over and over and over again, you also know a lot of times you'll get something from somebody that they didn't mention in their Wikipedia page, right? Like you'll get a gold nugget that you're like, oh my God, they've never talked about this. This is amazing. And that's just from paying attention to the conversation and asking the next logical question, not the next question that you have written down. And I think a lot of people need to learn how to do that when they're interviewing. I think a lot of people just sort of like, great, that's amazing. I'm going to go to question number 2. And it's like, oh my God, they just gave you a gold nugget. Like, no, dig in. And so you learn by doing.
And you have to, because I've had co-hosts on, not Brian, so I don't want to be all upset, but that take the conversation in a totally different direction. And they're like, okay, we're going down this path. Don't you understand which path we're going down? Can't you see the path we're going? And they're like, oh, did you see the kids over there? It's like, okay, that's a totally different. Yeah, exactly.
Right. But that means they're not paying attention.
Right. We want to stay on this. This is a good topic to be on. We were kind of talking about what to talk about, but I think knowing storytelling, understanding how to ask the right questions. And that's not only why you have somebody on a podcast or why you're doing it, that's in life. That's talking to your clients, talking to who you are. You got to ask them, why are they doing it? Who their perfect client is, and figure that stuff out, or you're just wasting your time. And that's what Brian and I have been talking about for the last year. You know, how do you become the authority in your industry? Well, first you got to find out who your client is so that you can be that.
Right. 1,000%. And then what story are they trying to tell? Because a lot of times people don't understand. People believe the story you're telling them. And so you'll have people that are like, well, I don't have enough experience, or I don't know how to do this, and I don't know how to do that. Well, is that the story you're telling people, that you don't know how to do this? Because then that's the story they're going to believe, is that you don't know how to do this. But like, why don't you step into the shoes of the next level of who you're becoming, right? Let's say the thing over and over again. Oh, I am an author. You know, I am an expert. I do make media appearances, right? Like, my whole goal is to help people step into that next story and not just stay with that limiting belief of who they believe they are. Because, and you guys know this, it's all about mindset. If you have that limited mindset, then like, yeah, that's the story you're telling people, that I can't. But until you start flipping that around to like, not just I can, but I am, it is, we are, then everything, like the cards sort of fall into place from there. And that's what I'm trying to help people do.
Well, that's what Brian does. He stares at the mirror and says,
he does.
Darn, Stuart.
It's really creepy how you know that about me, Ed. That's the really scary part.
No, but what I want to get at is you have to know who you are. I don't care how you do it. If you stare, and actually you do talk to the mirror. That's right. You do in the morning. That's right. I'm a good guy. No, it's not that part of it, but you do. And it's okay, however that works for you to get in that mood. Because when I used to get in sales and you walk in a place, I don't care what's going on. I was old Zig Ziglar person, a checkup from the neck up. You have to make sure you're into it. Same with podcasting in front of a client who you're talking to. Who are you going to be at that moment? That's what you need to know. And that's what you need to do.
Well, but you know why it runs so counterintuitive? We're told our whole life, just work hard and be quiet and you'll be rewarded. And that's not what works in modern day society. And we're always told, downplay your skills. You don't want to be braggadocious. Don't stand out from the crowd. All these pieces that our grandparents told our parents that was true for factory workers doesn't work for us in modern day. Rachel and I talked the other week, like, more people need to read the book, The Alter Ego Effect. And that is, if you don't feel like you're that person, who can you temporarily become in order to achieve that? So for example, everybody thinks that it's Clark Kent who becomes Superman. Really, it's Superman becoming Clark Kent when he puts on the glasses to make him more comfortable around everyone else. And it's what can you be temporarily that still is authentically you, but you don't feel like it has to be 100% you right then and there.
Are you telling me Clark Kent and Superman is the same person?
I know, it's crazy. Watch, they go like this. Oh, Superman, Clark Kent. I know.
I didn't know.
I don't even know why Batman wears the cowl. He should just get glasses also, and just be done.
Sorry, I just had to.
It's okay. It's fine.
Just had to. But you're right. And it's really about knowing who are you. You need to find out who you are before you do anything, because it's the same thing. Every conversation I have on a podcast, everything else. And I don't overstudy the person. I'm more Johnny Carson, Edmund Band kind of stuff. They didn't really go in depth with that client until that person got on the stage, because there's certain things you don't want to know. That seems like it's spontaneous and you just find out. I was on somebody else's podcast and I've had people ask me, can you send me questions ahead of time? It's like, no, it's a conversational podcast. And I've had people, I know they had built these questions out and they go, okay, blah, 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 blah. And then I say it and they're going, all right, what about, you don't want to go in more depth with what I just said?
Okay,
so,
but
Ed, next thing you tell us was...
But the behind the scenes of that Johnny Carson show is a producer who did do a pre-interview. Does that make sense? So that's why you'll hear those questions of like, hey, I heard you went on this family vacation. What funny thing happened? ... Do you know what I mean? So for those talk shows, but that happens, right? So it's like, how can I lead you into something that people are interested in? Yes, we'll get to the movie, TV show, whatever it is that you're promoting towards the end, because nobody cares. And then how do we get people to care and also be entertained? So there are producers in the background that have done their due diligence, that did do all that research, that Johnny then looked and would say, like, whatever kind of highlighted for him, he knew how to lead you into it. But from there, I think a lot of times it was just, let's go with it.
I have Chad.
Chad's your producer? Does he give you one sheets with questions, or does Chad is he your technical producer? Is he your story producer? Is he your episodic producer?
So I created a GPT in Chat GPT that I drop in the person as a guest, the podcast I'm on, and then I drop in their website and I drop in their Podmatch, and it creates, I told it how I wanted it created and what to put in there. So I have that information already done to where I have it to look at if I need to add to the podcast, if I need to go in a certain direction. And so I've done that. I call them Chat, because just that way I don't, it's just easier. That's that one assistant. I have a pod who does other stuff for me, but that's just the one. And I don't mean a pod like the old movie pods where they come and get you at nighttime when you go to sleep.
What is that? Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Yeah. Yes. I got a different question of what we talked about before we got on here, Rachel. And that was, you talked about helping people create content or reuse content they already have before. So a lot of people hate to stare at the camera. They don't like the idea of even getting started. What are a few just simple recommendations for people who are going to start recording live video to get them going?
Hold on, before we get there, hold on. Finish this. Are we done with the story part, producer Rachel? Is there anything else you want to add on the story stuff before we go to a different place?
I believe everybody has a story to tell. And I am here to be of service to help you figure out a way to tell your story, which gets into what Brian's talking about literally is, how do I do this on camera, right? If you're not comfortable with being on camera, we all know Nike has the best logo. Just do it. Number one. Number two, nobody cares. Like, nobody cares. We put so much pressure on ourselves, and we go through like this thought process of like feeling icky and like, oh my God, I can't really do this. Or you'll even start recording. I went through this myself. I'll start recording and I'll be like, ugh, who the F cares? And it was like, great, amazing. So instead of taking that time to practice, I just like, shuttered myself away and got stuck in this learning phase of like, how to, right? Instead of just being my authentic self on camera. Nobody cares. I don't have to be Ed. I don't have to be Brian. I don't have to sell like you guys. I don't have to market like you. I market like me. I'm me. So what am I bringing to the table? And I think a lot of people don't know what that is in the beginning, because in their brains, they're so used to the way people talk in short form, right? Because we're used to doom scrolling. So the first thing I tell people is you're no longer a consumer. You are now a creator. Think of yourself as a creator. Everything you do is creating. Number one. Stop doom scrolling. We're not going to doom scroll anymore. That's where the time is going, because everybody's going to say, oh, I don't have time. You do have time. take a little time audit of how you're spending your day. How long are you on TikTok and Instagram? You have time. And then the third thing is just do the thing. No one's saying you have to post it, right? Like that's the one thing. Get into the habit of just doing the thing. Just record the video. And then the gap usually is, okay, now I've recorded the videos. Now what? And so I sort of help you get over that gap. We bridge that gap with helping you how to actually utilize that video for marketing purposes, where whether it's long form, short form, blogs, newsletters, posts, carousels, LinkedIn, whatever, there's different ways to utilize that. If someone's really not comfortable being on camera, there's a ton of faceless channels that exist. There's a ton of faceless accounts that exist. You don't have to be on camera. If you really don't want to, you can do it a different way. You don't have to.
Correct. But you have to put the time in. And what people understand is we already know what you look like. We already know how much you weigh. We already know how much, whether you wear glasses or don't wear glasses, or we know how you sound. You sound the same on video as you do in person. We already know this about you. So just stop worrying. Just get going and get good. After you got about 10,000 hours in, you'll be really good, and you'll finally get to a point where you just don't care. What I mean, like you said in the beginning, you get to a point where you care about the content you create, but you don't care if you make a mistake. You just keep going on. The thing I found about live radio is they want you to make a mistake so that they know it's live and it's not been ultimately edited. And people always ask me about my podcast, do you take the ums and ahs out? And I say, no, just get better at it.
I used to take the likes out and like the ums and the ahs, and then listening back to it, I was like, it just doesn't sound like a real conversation. Like it doesn't sound like somebody really talking. And then I was like, F it, because then editing is another step. And then like fixing stuff is another. It's like, just ship it. Just ship it. You, especially people just starting out, you're not in the space where you need an intro. You don't need a song. You don't need an outro, right? Like just do the thing. And when you start getting those hours underneath your belt of being consistent, and you know you figure out a way to fit this into your life, then you can start to think about, okay, level 2 of my show or of my podcast or of my social media is this, right? But like in the beginning, especially with money, and you can't outsource everything, right? Really think about what is the gap that you need to bridge. So if it's getting storylines and hooks together, I can help you with that. If it's just editing and getting it done, I can help you with that. The only thing I don't do is post. I'm not a social media manager. So a lot of the clients that I work with have social media managers who are begging them for content, right? Like how many times for those people that do have social media managers is your SM like, literally send me something so I can post something. And so that's where I come in. We can take a one long form YouTube video, create tons of different short form videos, and then the manager can just take it from there and post it for you. But
I'm a huge fan of one of the things that helped me creating a background. All three of us created a background for this purpose, for podcasts, for doing live videos. When I had a white wall, I felt like a total fraud. And once I put up the background and bookshelf and whatever it is, once you personalize it, it's like why we go to work versus working from home. When they send you there and you have a desk, you have a job to do it at your desk. You're there for it. And when you leave, you get to be who you are as well. And I think that's where a lot of people get hung up early on, is they don't like what it looks like in the background and everything. Go create your ideal space for you to do these in, and you can change it. I used to have black bricks as my background. Ed changes the color of his light. You've had 2 different studios.
But yeah, and I also have a green screen I pull down for my other studio, because when I was in a different studio, it looked totally different. I took a picture of that studio because I'm not in there anymore, and it's my background.
Right.
So it looks consistent.
Yeah, and that's adding those little things to it. Rachel, you want to show everybody what you keep with you when you're on podcasts?
What, my pillow is that?
Yeah.
Is that my emotional support pillow?
Yes.
I created this pillow because I don't know if dudes do this, but women automatically, when you sit down on a couch, you grab the pillow and you get comfortable. Right. And so this is how I'm comfortable talking. I'm not comfortable like this. And maybe it's because I feel more exposed this way. Maybe it's just me blocking myself from other people, but I feel just more comfortable. Like I can relax and have a conversation with you, or I feel like we're just sitting on the couch chatting, as opposed to like, we have to discuss something of value and amazing and an offer. And it's like, no, I don't need to be that person all the time. So I like, just when I do these, I like to just get comfortable and just feel like, okay, guys, like, what are we talking about? What do you want to do? And so you work your way up. I mean, and you guys know this because you give value all the time. if there is value in what it is you're saying, they don't care that it was recorded in voice notes on your phone and is now an audio podcast. Right. They don't care that you don't have a background. I don't have 6 foot depth. So like I use a light. It is what it is, right? Because of what I'm saying is of value. That is what's more important than where I am and what it looks like, in my opinion.
Brian just did the background because he wanted to say,
yes. Well, that is why. Hey,
this is my bat cave.
Oh, no, you remember what it was? Is when that was the black brick, all the gray hair kept blurring in with the brick and all the videos look like crap.
No, so but you like, yeah, but you're like, I could. You didn't just get one thing. You're like, bat cave.
Yes, I did.
But that's the perfect example. All 3 of us are 3 perfect examples, right? Like, so Ed, you have depth of field because you've got that 4 to 6 foot behind you, right? With the camera that is in that like cinematic mode. So you're in frame and you're fine. Brian, you sort of don't have as much depth of field, but you have a backdrop that has some sort of texture and whatever. Right. And I just have a light. Like I have a sign that I put up sometimes, but it's just like, it's not necessarily what's back here that's important. It's what I'm saying to you and what is coming out of my mouth that is important. Pay attention to that.
Right. But it does help because I've been on stuff where someone has a fan up and above them go on and it's going and they're like, that's what you're staring at because you're watching the fan.
So that's a mistake. Right? So you just say, don't put the fan on. Make sure you're in a quiet space. Use the headphones so there's no feedback. If you have a mic that you probably bought on Amazon 2 years ago, plug it in. Let's use it. Do the thing.
That's what we laugh about. Like, it's funny. People, when we talk about like buy and invest in a good mic, people are like, that's like, $100. And, you can go higher end. Like these are like 500. But it's something you use on a regular basis all the time, and it makes you sound so much better. I mean, I didn't listen to Ed for the longest time. Like I had a Yeti first, and Ed's like, dude,
we all had Yetis. We all had Yetis. Yeah, it was what we were told to get, and it's like, okay, who's got the stock in this Yeti to tell everybody go get it up front so you can just throw it away later?
Yeah.
I know. I have an Audio Technica. So mine is an Audio Technica mic. It is used in radio shows, et cetera, podcast. And so that's why I mute myself because it literally picks up every time I breathe, and I'm having trouble breathing today. So I'm like, okay, if I need a deep breath, I will mute.
We just took your breath away. That's a flattering compliment.
Every time, Brian. Every time.
Well, people understand the difference between a condenser mic and a dynamic mic. You want a dynamic mic like I have and Brian has because of the fact like I have American Bully down here snoring like nobody's business. And you would be able to hear that with my condenser mic, which is what a Yeti is. And that picks up everything in the room. So if you want that is okay. It's one that you can put it on a table and everybody can talk in the room, but everything's going to come into it. I don't want that. I want just the voice brought into it. So that way, if something else is going on outside, nobody can hear it.
Yeti has a setting, like it has multiple settings, but I don't think most people, like beginners, know they have has different settings. So most of the time it's just on the wrong setting. Does that make sense? It does have, it's not as good. No, I agree with you. It's not as good as yours. Yes. But like if you have the Yeti mic,
they're not cheap.
Learn how to use it.
Yeah.
They're not cheap at all. That's
Get a Yeti mic if you're going to do an ASMR video because it will pick up every sound in your house.
Yes, exactly.
But if you're going to spend that money on a Yeti, just go get an Audio Tech, whatever it is on Amazon.
Audio Technica. Which ones do you guys use?
Yeah,
we use these SMB Shure.
Yeah. Sure, mics are great too. Yeah, 100%.
It makes my voice seem deeper than it really is.
That and puberty.
Yeah, that happened too. Yeah. But over there on my so I have a standing desk in the corner, and I have my radio show mic over there that we have when you're in the radio. That really the one that they've had for years in radio, and it's a different sound than what this one sounds. So I have multiple stations, and one of the things you can do is like Brian has a standing. I actually going to have a green screen mounted to the ceiling to pull down behind me while I'm standing because I get tired of sitting all the time. I can't, And this over here is just for sitting. Over there is just for standing. I know it's weird, but that's 2 separate environments that I have to have. Yeah.
But it's also good for your brain. Your brain knows, okay, now we're in this mode, right? So I'm building out, there's a little bedroom next to me over here. And I'm just like, screw it. We're going to make that the standing space, right? Where it's going to look different. It's going to look more officey. because I'll be in our like impact effect community every day going live. I wanted it to separate it from like this podcast look versus like now we mean business and we're getting stuff done look. And that will be standing because I feel like that energy standing is completely different than like sitting and chatting. So yeah. And again, use what you have. You don't have to get a mic right away. If you really just want to be audio, only use voice notes on your phone. It actually works really, really well. And you all have it. So do that next best thing. Just do the next best thing. But stop putting money into equipment that's just sitting in the Amazon box next to you that you get to stare at every day. Take out the equipment, start to learn to do it. Even if it's just 15 minutes a day of practicing doing the thing, just start to do the thing, right? Stop staying in learning mode. I was in learning mode. I'm going to show you this. I think you'll laugh so long. I was in learning mode, right? With the free PDFs, right? And then you're in someone's funnel and, oh, this free PDF is the thing that's going to change my life. I don't have just one 3-inch binder. I have 2 3-inch binders of free PDFs. These are all free, the ones that I actually managed to print, right? None of them are filled out. None of them are filled out because you get stuck in that space of feeling overwhelmed and you don't know where to start. And honestly, information changes so much. Like most of this is probably just obsolete. I can probably just burn it in the campfire this summer. Start to take the next best step, even if it's a micro action. Those micro actions lead to big, huge things eventually. It's better than just staring at the thing or thinking about the thing over and over and over again. Just start to do the thing. And again, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Just I'm just going to say what we were told by Steve Sims long time ago is just get going, then get good. And Brian still is.
Yeah. Well, the other one you can do, go live on Instagram, right? Because if you go live, you don't have to keep the recording.
And that's the other thing.
Even live on Facebook, it's gone after 30 days anyway.
True.
Well, yeah, now I got that lovely email. That's the other thing is a lot of people will come to me and say, oh, I want to start a podcast. And I always say, don't. It's a full-time job. Don't do it. Unless you can just go live every the day time that you thought you were going to record your podcast, go live instead. And then you ship it. You just ship it. If you liked it, great. You can post it. And if you didn't like it, then you don't have to post it. You just delete it and move on. But I would say save it in your archive. And then you can take that live from Instagram, download it because it's downloadable. Then you can throw that on your YouTube link. I would prefer to start from a platform like StreamYard, then it pushes out to your other stuff because it's just a cleaner video. Instagram has a tendency to like compress it. So it's not great for repurposing. But like you can take that one Instagram live you did that day and then repurpose. And if you can't edit, you can use Opus.pro or you can use an AI to help you. I'm not a fan of the AI. I still feel like it doesn't pick out the liners or the things that I would have chosen as an editor. Sure. So I will generally use it to sort of pre-chop stuff up and then I put it into CapCut and I do it the rest of the way. Or I just send it to my short form editor. Honestly, now I'm just like, here, do the thing. But there's tools that exist to help you bridge whatever the gap it is that you're going through. I just want to get people if I got out of the learning phase 2 years ago and started to take action, where would my business and where would I be now? Who knows? I'm just like, I wish I had my own community that I'm building at the time that I needed it the most. And that's the purpose of it.
Yeah, we're raised in an environment where we're taught you have to get credentialed before you can be good at something. And that's because that's the way academia was when there wasn't free access to information. You had to go to school, you had to go to college, you had to go get your master's, you had to go get your PhD, you have to go get these other accreditations. Now we just realize knowledge is everywhere. And that old version of knowledge, we thought, oh, well, I have to write a book and I have to do all these things. You don't have to. You can get on and talk about dog training. You don't have to have any certifications. If you found something that works for your dog, go for it. And that's what's really changed over time. And to Ed's point, I used to, when I first got started doing this, and Ed's the one who pushed us into the podcast because he's very familiar with this world. I thought, well, I'm not going to go rent a studio and do all these things because I thought that's what it took. And then you realize this is usually some subsection of somebody's one of the rooms in their house that you get a small view to. I mean, I can go to my fridge here in a second or go sit on my couch over there, right? Very few people have full-blown studios unless they own an office building that there's a studio in it. And that's the magic of this is when you start traveling and doing podcasts, you'll see where they're filmed versus what it looks like. And then you just realize it's about just creating this environment here, no matter where you are.
Yeah, this is a converted walk-in closet. My husband's a contractor. We own a contracting company where he's amazing at what he does. So we knocked out one closet, knocked out part of another walk-in closet in that bedroom that's next door. And I just said, I'm not going to have the depth of field, so I'll deal with that. But like, I need a space that's quiet and I can utilize just to myself. And it's literally like, I don't even think it's 10 by 10. It's tiny, tiny, tiny. And it's been perfect.
But it gets the job done.
It does, exactly. I did the thing, right? I did the next best thing.
The only thing I would add to that is make sure you guys put in some type of sound dampener material in something. And I created all mine originally. I searched YouTube it's almost 5 years ago. During the pandemic when everybody was on Clubhouse and everybody's talking about different things, I researched how to make them, because I couldn't buy them. Everybody was out of them because everybody was doing it. And so I learned how to make it and use the right insulation, and it makes a huge difference. With having that, you go from a room where you can hear an echo to a room where you couldn't hear a pin drop. I
have all the foam. You can't see it, but I have all the foam everywhere on the door, up and like it's everywhere else. So
these are not that. I had that first.
Do you have the panels, right?
Yes, but I made them. Yes.
Yeah.
And they're not hard to make. They're pretty easy. So.
But that's the thing, again, like then you work up to that. You can start with the foam, the little foam pieces. They're foam, I don't know, like 8x8s, right? You start with that and then you work up to the next best thing.
Well, I'm just saying the easiest thing to do is these are just, they look like pictures on the wall. That's what instead of those, you got to, we're going to glue them, tape them, you know what I mean? Then they fall down. That one's coming off. I'm just saying because when I first did it at my old office, the landlord came in and he's like, and I'm like, don't worry, I put on plywood. And then I mounted the plywood.
Well, we're talking about advanced stuff. So going back to people who are just wanting to get out there, get a decent camera, either on your laptop, get a newer laptop, use your phone, buy one. Ed recommended the Avaya that I use here today. Then get a better microphone than what comes on. If you just get the one that comes, like I have a Mac. So the one that comes with my Mac sucks. Having this one, it makes a world difference. If I jump between the two, I don't know if he'll let me do that while we're live. Will it? Audio. Yes, I can. So
I love how Brian's just taking messy action. I love that. Yeah. Go ahead. Let's see the difference.
So now you can hear the difference versus if I go back to the Shure mic, you can hear the complete and total difference of what that sounds like right back to this one. And then what a difference just that one little thing makes.
So going again.
Invest just invest a little bit here and there. We buy new iPhones all the time because we use it every day. Get a better camera, get a microphone. Then you can add all the rest of this stuff to it. But get those two things.
Well, and you can use your front-facing camera. There are tripods that have mirrors. So if instead of doing the selfie-facing camera, which is a lower resolution than your front-facing, the back-facing camera, you can get a mirror to see what you're doing. I use my iPhone. I use a third-party system called Camo. It is an app that allows you to use your iPhone as your high-resolution camera, and you can have the depth of field, and you can have the blur, and you can do all the things. So there's lots of different tools out there to help you where you are until you're ready to go to the next level.
Speaking of that one, like using your phone, I keep seeing on TikTok that one that's a little attachment that you can attach on the back.
Yes.
So it'll let you see your selfie mode.
Yes.
I was looking at one of those. I was like, ooh, maybe that.
I might buy that. I know. You buy it first and then tell me how it works and then I'll buy it. I did do that. I was like, that's actually brilliant.
I'm not buying anything else. I got enough.
You don't need to. You're good. I mean, unless you have
I had all the little kits for my phone when we go to events, and then I have all the lenses for all my cameras when we go to the events. How do you think Brian got such good pictures in the beginning?
I thought it was just photogenic.
Yeah. Well, I helped him get on Secret Knock.
That's true.
Because that picture. Yeah.
A good picture.
Yeah, because I hate when people take pictures that are horrible. It's like, take good pictures. That's why if you're going to use a nice DSLR, put it on 3 where you put the button and it goes click, 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 because then you get pictures and then you pick the one that looks the best. You don't have to, sorry, this is all messed up. Let me try it again.
Well, and lighting. So if you are using an iPhone and you don't have a fancy DSLR camera, lighting is everything, right? So you can take beautiful iPhone pictures. Just be cognizant of the lighting that you have. My daughter and my husband are very aware of doing the sequential pictures because you never know which one's going to work the best. Yeah. So there's definitely different ways of doing all of the things. Just the most important thing is like, just do something. Just do whatever the next best thing is for you today.
Right.
Get going and get good.
Yeah. Add to it as
And
you
get
go.
good.
I don't want to just do it. I don't want Nike coming after that.
Don't just do it, but I call it messy action, right? Just take messy action, but like
Mhm.
do the thing. It's okay. We can do the thing.
That's what I tell my wife.
And she tells you go do reps on your own before the event.
She said, go get in the kitchen and clean it up yourself.
I have no comment.
Yes.
I think we're there.
Yeah. All right. So one of the things that you were talking about is you did start something new and fun. You want to give us a little preview into that before we have to go in a minute?
Yeah, it's called Impact Effect Community with my partner, Jim Morris. He has done wonderful things in this world of marketing and community. And so the goal is to sort of bridge the gap, right, of what communities have become, right? A lot of times it's just like, here's a course. Please post more. Here, do the thing, and I'll meet you next week. The gap for me was I had questions while doing the thing, or I wouldn't do the homework. I mean, you saw 2 binders of PDFs that were empty because I didn't have someone to help bridge me the gap of I need help doing this now. So it's for entrepreneurs, business owners, solopreneurs, side hustlers who are ready to take action, right? Like you want to get out of that learning phase now. And you don't really know what action to take next. And so we onboard you personally. We call each and every person that's onboarding and signing up, and we try to figure out where are you in your business, where are you in your action steps, and we are literally creating this community as we go. So the whole point is meeting you where you are and helping you get to the next phase, right? We all know you can do an accountability group, you can do all these things for accountability, but really you have to be accountable for your own actions. And so we will be live in the community every day for multiple times a day, helping you with taking messy action and whatever the next thing is. We are literally building it as we go because we want to give people what they need, not what we think they need.
Right. Well, and for people who've watched the show for a while, we've had Jim on. So Jim Morris, Impact Effects, the event I spoke at the last 2 years, he's been on the show several times. So this has been his long-term goal because it started with Impact Effect. He wanted to impact the people there in Nashville, right? He's got kids now. He was doing things and he saw that we're being disconnected more and more. So he wanted to create the Impact Effect. Then he did it again the second year. But really what he wanted was something that can go on in between events, something that you don't have to wait till once a year, once a quarter to do a meetup. How can people build that collaboration and community throughout their daily life? And that's going back to putting in the reps. You can't go to the gym once a year and end up okay. It's what are you doing daily? How are you eating? What are you taking in nutrition wise every day? And that's what y'all are trying to create is how can you feed these people to help them grow on a daily basis? Is that a fair recap?
Yeah. And then within that community, help each other, right? How do we help each other grow? Like if you're at a different level of your business, you can help a level 3 business owner can help a level 1 business owner. Like, here are the things I did. Here are the mistakes I made. Here's how I learned. I mean, the whole goal is to get people to just be honest with where they are. This entrepreneur stuff, there's days that I'm crying. There's days I'm using my savings account to cover payroll. It's right? It's okay to be honest in that community. I understand not wanting that perception outside of that, but we wanted to create a safe space for people to really just connect with each other. And, I get like people think of it's another one of this or it's another one of that. It's really not. We really want to meet you where you are. And we want to connect with you personally and see what we can do to help you take the next step.
Awesome.
Yay.
Hey.
Ed, anything else you'd like to ask?
No. I enjoyed the first part, the storytelling, where we got to with all this. I think it was very important stuff. And I appreciate you being on today, producer Rachel.
Thank you for having me, Ed.
You can take us out?
Yeah. Oh, did you want me to do that?
Yeah. You're on that side of the screen today. Jeez, sometimes it could help us hard to find.
What?
Yeah.
I'm on what side of the screen?
You reversed it. I'll take us out since you won't be here next
all
week.
Right. Okay. You get all next week. You can handle all next week. I know you like to play that game where you have somebody when I'm not here.
Yes.
I like to just stay home. I'm just kidding. I don't do it alone. All right, everybody. I appreciate you being here today. We're listening to us. Rachel, thank you so much for being on the show and telling us that part of people's helping us tell people how to tell their story and also getting into the part of how you can help people. And Brian, thank you for being here. It's really important that you're here. Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
And we will be back next week without me. And I'll be back the following week. Oh, darn it. All right, everybody, make it a great day. And we'll talk to you next week. At least
bye.
Bye.